we're gonna talk today. We have a very interesting subject, and it's very swimmer related. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about today is what swimmer am I? Am I a sprinter, or am I a mid-distance swimmer? Or let's just say sprinter or distance swimmer. So this is something that always crosses the mind of kids, especially at a teenage, in the 13s and 14s, when they say, "Coach, I'm a sprinter. Why are you giving me 10 400s?" You know what I mean? And the answer is always.
Yeah.
But it's easy to finish a 50.
All right, so I guess it's a good subject to talk about, since we're jumping into the swim.
It's a big one also.
All right, so let's go with one by one. All right, so I'll start with Mu'min on the right, and then we'll go to you, Coach. All right. So Mu'min, what do you think? How do we answer? What type of swimmer are you? Okay,
Okay.
Let's not go too scientific. Okay, let's just go. Let's take it that.
Okay, in a simple way, yeah. I understand.
In a simple way, yes.
In a simple way, yeah. When they're still in age group swimming, I don't think that we have to specialize at that time. It has the swimmer has to swim like 400 IMer, like they swim perfectly the full strokes, all the 4 strokes. And they swim mix between distance and sprint, like middle distance swimmer. They can do all the strokes. They can swim all the events up till to age 16. Now we start after the puberty. We start to know more. How is this swimmer will go to distance swimming or middle distance swimming or sprinting. Before we go to let's say what is the distance and how we know it's a distance swimming, or what is the sprint swim. 50-100 is a sprint swimming or sprints event. The rest is going to middle distance and distance from the 200 and above. And actually nowadays, after Usama Malouli swam, his workout designs or the program designs for him is more about sprinting when he got the gold medal in 1500. So actually, you can't train the distance swimmer with sprinting. They can't sprint the distance. But I would say with the longer volume, like 10K or something, as an open water swimmer or distance swimmer later, yes, you have to know your swimmer in the older age, how you can know which event they can swim. But in the older age, as an age group, they have to swim all the event to predict this later.
Mm-hmm. And Coach, we'll go to you now. What do you think? What is your insight on how to, or let's say the difference between sprinter and distance swimmer?
The difference is obvious. Once they reach the proper age, you can easily understand, okay? Yeah. A funny example is that sprinters have only 2 speeds, go and out, okay? Because you see when they swim the 200, after the first 100 all out, there is a lot of pain to finish the race. But apart from this, of course, this question will come from the swimmers after they develop some skills, okay? So we are talking over the age of 10, 11, probably this is the period when the competition starts, okay? So a lot of young swimmers get confused because, as I told you in the beginning, it's very easy to finish a 50, okay? However, the 50 is one of the most difficult events. It's not easy to improve. So a lot of young swimmers get confused because it's easy to swim the 50. They also grow, okay? They are during the puberty, okay? So they grow faster. And with the strength they gain, they also feel like that they are more towards the sprinting, okay? Now, I don't want to make it scientifically, as we said before, but most of the times it's genetics. Okay, this will determine what type of swimmer you are going to be in the future. So the difference, as I told you, is very obvious. Okay, you can separate the swimmers later from the ability of swimming a lot of sets without getting tired quickly and maintaining the pace, and swimmers that they cannot tolerate these long trainings, but having the ability to swim faster in the short sets, okay, using the strength. But again, they have to make sure that it's another thing to finish a 50, okay, and another thing to be a sprinter, okay? So everyone can do it. The point is how fast you go. And trying to finish a 50 thinking that you are a sprinter, maybe you lose time from normal training, okay, distance training. And distance training, every kid and every young swimmer should go through. Okay, they have the ability to use the oxygen much more. Okay, and okay, scientifically, no.
It has.
They are also missing an enzyme.
So let's ask this question. All right, is swimming more like running, where genetics and the amount of red blood cells that you have define you as a sprinter, or is it something that you can train somebody to become a sprinter? Let's look at it that way, right? So, do you need to have red blood cells like runners do to become a sprinter?
Now you turn it scientifically.
I'm just saying, this is something that will cross some people's minds.
Okay, so, there is some research at the beginning. They talk about the muscle types, and they try to predict it for the fast twitch muscle types. There is 3 types. So we have to explain this. There is 3 types of muscle tissues. There's fast twitch muscle A, and slow twitch muscle, fast twitch muscle A, and fast twitch muscle X. This is the ultra fast, the third one. But
and black people like me.
Yeah, most of the track and field sprinters, they have this.
You find that only in Jamaicans.
Yeah, they came with the studies that saying, the more fast twitch muscle in, the more the swimmer will be sprinters, less than distance. But actually, by training, they find out that this can be converted to a percentage more. So they find out that the more fast twitch muscle in the swimmer, because of the training, he can be more talented for sprinting more than distance. The same vice versa with the distance. The more they will find a mitochondria or more mitochondria in the muscle and more fast twitch muscle A and slow twitch is relying, the more you will have distance swimmer. But from my side, I'm a bit disagreeing with this studies a bit, because it's not only that. Okay, I will agree with the mitochondria for the distance, but it's not only that. Actually, the physiology is a bit limited. If you with me with this, to improve the physiology part is a bit limited. But to improve the technique and work on the technique more, the more you have stretching and improvement in the timing because of this. Also, it relies on the swimmer, what he wants, what he needs, what he loves to do. If you come to a distance swimmer, I will say he can count, he can hold the pace. I totally count some of them. Give them 10K, no problem. 5K for him is a warm-up. So it's no problem for him. But if you come to a sprint and say to him, swim a 5K, he will not give it to you. He will not give it to you. He will not swim it. He will not hold the pace. If you give him a sprint swimming or a more fast set, he will do it for you and he will enjoy it. So it's more also rely on the swimmer, what he like to do, what he like to perform. So this is my opinion about it, how you can it rely on the physiology only or the blood cells or the muscles only or it's a package. You have to understand the swimmer form.
What about you, Coach? What do you think of this insight?
I believe that the conversation is very scientific, and that's why Aaron, Leah are calling Adham and Adam, in the group.
I can see, yeah, I'm paying attention because there's a lot of talks about your buzz haircut right now. And you know what's funny?
I think yes.
I've been shaving my head for the past 20 years, and nobody even commented on my shaved head. But you do this for a week, and all of a sudden, all of social media turns around.
And all of a sudden, Mr. Porto will come in the conversation. Will jump in the conversation.
Yes, indeed. So, what are your
anyways,
on?
Now, since we made it a bit of scientific, okay, I will say to the swimmers that, guys, swimming is an aerobic sport. Based on the science, the efforts that most of the events, okay, need in swimming are like more than 50 seconds and 1 minute. Okay, so apart from the 50, okay, all the other events are aerobic. Okay, so it's a distance swimming already. It's a distance sport already. Now, it's not very clear, okay, and you have to be old enough to run a test and see your muscle fibers to figure out if you are a sprinter or not, okay? The experience from the training will show you more or less. But you mentioned the Jamaicans before, okay? Even Usain Bolt, because people thought that the percentages of your muscle fibers, okay, are huge, like the difference, like the gap. For example, I'm a sprinter, so I have 80% of this, 20% of the other one, okay? It's not like this. It's very close to 50. So Usain Bolt, I read once, it was like 48 point something slow.
Yeah, that's
52, the other one. So all the people are close to 50, okay? 49.5 to 50.5 or 49.6 to 51.4, okay? So there is no big difference in the percentage, and these minor differences don't make the difference, okay? But this is coming much later. Also with the strength, the boys with the testosterone.
Is this Leah?
Yeah.
This is Leah, yeah.
You know what's funny? There's this conversation that's going between three, elite alumni going on the bottom. And the funniest part
Sorry to interrupt you. Yes.
Adam is saying that, do these guys actually read the comments? Adam, we're reading every single word that's going on underneath. But
let's ask them. Let's ask them.
Serious. Yeah,
let's ask them. Leah, what is the difference? Okay, how did you feel that you are a long distance swimmer? How did you come up with the idea that you have to swim long distance, Leah?
You know what we can do? We can actually invite her right now to join this conversation. So, in conclusion, let's get the conclusion. Mu'min, what's the conclusion?
As Elias said about it's relative and it's not that there is big gap. Actually, it comes by experience. You understand more the swimmer. But to predict in younger age, this will be breaststroker, this will be backstroker, this will be a sprinter, this will be distance swimmer. I don't, in my experience or what I see in my life, actually, I used to have a really strong backstroke sprinters or backstroker. They end up breaking the national record in freestyle. Some of them was in butterfly in the younger age. They end up in the national team in breaststroke. So no one knows how the body will change later after the puberty, how the mood of the swimmer or the talent will be curved to a different stroke or a different distance. So for me, in the age group swimming, it has to be trained as a 400 IM. Everything, they do everything, and they do most of the events or all the events. Then later it will become with the experience and more races. We will understand. The swimmer will understand, and the coach, they can select the races later in older ages for the benefit. Sometimes there has been force for the national team for some stuff.
All right, Ilya, what was your what would you like to conclude? Because I saw Leah, she wrote some nice things over there, and
yeah,
Leah, you know, once we post this again, it will show people can read, obviously. All right, so let's also look at what she wrote, what Leah just wrote. I think you brushed up on it, Coach. So let's sum it up with also some insights from Leah's observation.
So Leah said that she finds it difficult to speed up suddenly. Okay, so from a certain pace she has, over a sudden to go all out. So she needs time to find the speed. So it's like a Honda and a Mercedes. The Mercedes can go nicely in the highway. The Honda can go fast from one traffic light to another one. So the Japanese model.
I love how you just said Honda, because somebody has a CRA and he has to pick on the Honda.
No, I wanted to mention the Japanese. Anyways, so to sum up, I will use also now, because we had the event with the Pharaoh. Okay, so I will use the pyramid. All the swimmers in the younger age, they have to do the basics, okay? And they must have a strong base. So volume, a lot of endurance, okay? Build it, and later on, when your body is getting ready, okay, and your maturity about to get completed, okay, then you will see for sure which direction you have to take, okay, to choose. So the base, and a lot of endurance, swim all the strokes, okay, try to excel if possible, or at least to refine every stroke. And then the base, endurance, all types, swim all the meters, all the events if you can. Anyways, all the big athletes and big swimmers, they have been, through all the events more or less. And from stories, right now the fastest swimmer is Caleb Dressel. And what we know from stories, okay, from people that they have swum with him, is that he does the training with the long distance swimmers, okay, and he finishes with them all the sets. And at the same time, he's the fastest. So endurance, a very strong base. And later on, at the end of your maturity, for sure you will know. The girls can also be earlier, okay, before the age of 18 sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the girls 15, 16, you can figure out.
Yeah, once the body comes steady in the changing, you can start predicting what is going on.
You know, when I hear these things, you know, I remember how my cycle turned, huh? So when I was 11, okay, I was doing like any other normal swimmer would do at that type of age, everything. So 50, 100, 200s, 400s, okay. Our training was just basic distance training. There was no specification, nothing whatsoever. And then when I was 14, I was thinking, you know, I was more of a 400 freestyle swimmer, 1500 freestyle swimmer. You know, I prided myself in these long distance events. Okay, and then when I was 15, 16, all of a sudden I said, no, I need to be a sprinter at 50, 100s. All right, and that's kind of how it just transformed me, you know. Again, like you guys said, at a young age, we need to be able to do everything and try everything. Okay. One thing I remember, and we used to do in university, is that all the girls, they had to do a 200 butterfly, whether they liked it or not. And it cycled from one event to another, you know. And there was like a chart in front of the coach's room, and it said, okay, these are the ones that are going to do it in this event, and these are the ones that are going to do it in that event, in the next event. So everybody had to go through a 200 butterfly, whether they liked it or not. Okay, and that's how I believe, you know, that's how you get the best out of every single swimmer. You make them do everything, and then they will later on discover what will later on at a later age, once they develop, once they mature out, they will discover what type of personality they will be. And obviously the body transformation, the muscle mass, the height, everything, all of these factors will play a big role in how they select to be what type of swimmer they're going to be. Okay. Yes, I agree from a genetic point of view that the genetics does play a huge part in defining whether you're a distance or a sprinter. Okay. However, it does not limit. I don't see it as a limitation factor. Because I'm tall, I need to be a sprinter. Because I'm short, I need to be a distance swimmer. It has no effect whatsoever. I've seen in numerous cases, you know, there are sprinters that are 2 meters 10, and there are sprinters that are 1 meter 80, and there are some sprinters that are 1 meter 70. It has no significance whatsoever. It lies down on the body itself. All right. So that's kind of what I wanted to add to sum things up. Yeah. Anyway, I'm so glad to see the three musketeers, you know, talking. I mean, by three musketeers, I mean the ones in the comments talking. Okay. Yeah. All three of you nitwits, we do miss you guys here. Okay. I hope you guys, wherever you guys are, obviously we know where Leah is, and we know where Adam Nasser is, and we know where you guys are. We know what you guys are doing, and we hope that you guys are safe and sound, and your families are doing okay. Anything else, guys? You want to punch in?
No, I hope every one of them on his track actually, and everyone's safe there.
All right, Coach. Anything you want to add?
No, all the best to everyone. And some likes. I always like Rasta, so now I like them too.
Now you got me wanting to come to Farwania to check you out. All right, so anyways, you guys have a great night. Leah, Aaron, Adam, good night. We'll see you all. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, huh?
Yeah, see you. Yeah, good night.
See you guys. Bye bye.
Good night. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.